So get yourself a soft block. We'll be doing some opening of our shoulders, our heart space. And if you'd like to challenge yourself a little, feel free to go back and grab a hand weight. We're only going to be working one side at a time, so you really only need one dumbbell. You can go without, but don't go more than 2. I've got 3-pounders here, and I'm probably going to regret it. So anyway, so we'll sit on back. One of the things with this block, let's start by trying to settle into our breath and opening our heart space at the same time. So you want to take this block and you want to place it between your shoulder blades up here on your chair. And if this, once again, this qualifier, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. I'm here as your guide. I'm offering suggestions. So as we place that block there, and now we find our sitting bones and we ground ourselves into the chair. Allow those feet to fall underneath those knees. Maybe wiggle the knees a little bit. And then the heels come down and plant underneath those knees. Wiggle those toes around and the feet around, and then come to a nice stable foundation with your feet as well as your sitting bones. And now go ahead and gentle pressure into the back of that block, rolling those shoulder heads just back a little bit. We don't want it to be a strain. We just want to work towards opening, and this is the beginning. If you're comfortable doing so, go ahead, put your hands in your lap, palms up. Close the eyes down. If you're not comfortable with closing the eyes down, soften the gaze and pick a spot on the floor to gaze at. And we'll slowly come into our breath, working towards getting it in and out through the nose. And then as we settle into that, think about the direction your breath is taking. As you inhale and you bring it in through the nose, direct it towards your abdomen first, so you feel the belly rising, expanding, pressing all the way around into the back. Now with this block that we have behind our back, it will give us a little extra space in the lower ribs, and we may feel that breath expanding into that area as well. That's all very good. And then as we continue getting deeper in our inhalations, we can bring that breath all the way up into the chest, reaching up into the collarbones. And now, as we've settled into the breath, draw attention to slowing the exhales down. Maybe if you think about breathing in that square where you're tracing your breath along each side of the square, we're going to change that square into a rectangle so that each of our exhales is a little bit longer than our inhales. maybe if you're comfortable keeping the eyes closed, go ahead and keep them closed. And then tuck your chin and press the back of your head towards the back of the mat. And then release and come into that neutral spine where we're just stacked up. And now tuck that chin again, pressing the back of the head towards the back of the room. Lengthening the neck. And then bringing it back to neutral. And then once again, let's tuck that chin. Pull the back of the head towards the back of the room, lengthening that neck out. And then release. Flutter those eyes open if you haven't already and begin wiggling your fingers and your toes. And then from here, let's inhale and reach those hands up to the sky and come into a full body stretch. So reach those hands behind you, laying over that block. Have a nice big inhale here, and then bring the palms together, exhale, and pull the hands down to heart center. We're stacking ourselves back up. From here, bring the hands back down to the lap. Drop the chin towards the chest. And feel free to use your neck rolls. If you're not comfortable with a neck roll, feel free to rock back and forth. But taking that right ear over to the right shoulder. We're going to go nice and slow, so if you find areas that have tension in them, spend a moment there, breathing and releasing that tension. Now let's reverse direction now, taking it around the other way. When you've circled around and are even on both sides and you're ready, bring that nose to face the front of the room. Let's inhale and pull the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and then lean back a little bit in the chair. From here, take that chin over to the right shoulder, checking our blind spot. And then release and bring the nose back to center. Inhale, long spine, pressing the head back a little bit, and then taking the chin over to the left shoulder. Release and bring the nose back to center. Inhale, and then exhale, drop that right ear to the right shoulder. As we hold it here, work towards pulling those shoulders down so that we're not scrunching them up around our ears. And then inhale, pull the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, drop that left ear over to the left shoulder. Inhale and bring the head back to center. Let's bring the arms out to the side. Let's use our goalpost arms here. Pull those elbows back and lean into that block. Opening that heart space. Maybe taking the gaze up towards the ceiling. And just holding it here for a little bit. Still keeping the core engaged. We don't want the ribs to pull away from the hip points. And then inhale, come forward, release the arms. We're gonna lean forward and take that black out from behind us. Okay, from here, let's scooch forward on the chair a little bit. We're gonna take turns. We'll keep coming back to the shoulders, but I wanna give our shoulders a break. So we're gonna work on opening up our hips a little bit. So let's lean back in the chair, pull that right knee up towards the chest and give it a squeeze. Okay, while we're holding it here and you're hugging it in, point those toes and then flex them and point and flex, point, flex, and now great big circles, as big as you can, nice and slow, getting out those creaks and pops, and then reverse direction. From here, let's drop that right foot. We're gonna come up and move ourselves to the front right corner of the chair. You can always use your hand to assist you to rotate this knee. We're gonna talk about the direction of the knee, but what we're actually doing is getting hip mobility going. So let's pull that right knee up towards the chest and take it out to the side, and then bring it down and around. We'll bring it up to the center line and pull it back up to the chest and take it out, down, and around. And we'll go around one more time this direction. And bring it up and give it a squeeze. From here, let's reverse direction, dropping that knee straight down the center and then taking it out to the side and back up. And around again, trying to keep that core engaged. And one last time around. And bring it in. From here, center yourself on the chair. We'll take those legs out about mat distance apart and allow them to drop over to the right side. And then bring them back to center. Inhale and exhale, take those knees over to the left side. And bring them back to center. We'll switch over, well actually we'll stay right here, pull that left knee up to the chest, lean back and give it a squeeze. Let's point the left toes and pull them back towards the shin, and point the left toes and pull it towards the shin, and point and flex. Now for the circles in one direction. And then reverse direction. From here, let's come back up to a seated position. We'll scooch our hips over to that left side of the chair and we'll work on our hip mobility on the left side now. Lift that left knee up, take it out to the side, and then down, around, back to the center line, and bringing it back up towards the chest, taking it out, down, around, and up. And last one on this side. Bringing it around and snuggling it in, and we'll go in reverse direction now, dropping it down the center line, taking it out and bringing it up. And then last one here, snuggle it in and release. yourselves to the center of the chair, taking those feet mat distance apart, and then if you want to hold your windshield wiper, go ahead and hold it. Otherwise, you can rock back and forth with your windshield wipers. Whatever feels good. Sometimes it's nice to hold a pose and be static in it. Other times it feels good to just get that motion going. All right. And then from here, let's settle into the middle of our chair. We want to really ground through those sitting bones, and then inhale, the crown of our head is pulling up towards the ceiling. From here, let's take that right hand out into our goalpost arm, and then pull that elbow towards the back of the room. And from here, we're going to lift those fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then bring them back down. The whole time pulling that elbow back towards the back of the room. Inhale and bring those fingertips up and back down. And bring it up and down. While we're here, we want to keep that core engagement so the hip points are pulling to the ribs. And we're just working in that shoulder. All right, I think we've got bringing it up. That will be 4 more left, and down, and 3, up, and down, and 2, up, and down, and 1, up, and down. Bring that right arm in, and roll that shoulder around in one direction, and then change the direction. Here we go. Now let's do the other side. So again, let's make sure that we're centered and we're sitting on those sitting bones. We have our good posture, our core is engaged. We take that left arm up and out into the goalpost arm, pull that elbow towards the back of the room, and then we lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and we bring them back down, and up, and down, up, and down. Do another 6, down, 5, down, 4, back down, 3, back down, 2, and 1. Release that and roll that shoulder around and reverse directions. From here, let's pull those shoulders up to the ears and pull them down. And let's bring them up to the ears again and bring them down. Pull those shoulders up, and this time we're going to rotate those shoulder heads forward and pull them down and back and all the way up and forward and back. Now let's reverse direction. So we're going to pull them back and now round them forward and round them back, down and forward. Good job. Okay. From here, let's bring the hands to the knees and we'll do our cat-cows. So we inhale, we pull that heart space forward. And we exhale, we round that back like a cat. We're trying to get as much motion as we can between each vertebrae. So on your inhales, pull forward. And your exhales, we arch that back. Think of a cat, pulling the shoulder blades away from the spine. Follow your own breath as you move back and forth in this. And now bring some organic movement in, whatever feels good. So whether you're swaying from side to side, or you use the tornado spine, or you image the barrel rolling down the hill. And when you're ready, ground through those sitting bones. Let's inhale and reach those arms up to the sky. And then let's exhale. We're gonna take that right hand down and all the way across, grab the outside of that left thigh, rainbow the left arm up over the top. While we do this, we still keep that left sitting bone grounded in the chair. Remembering to breathe while we're here. And if you'd like, yogi's choice, use the leverage from your right hand. Roll that heart space open by pulling that left elbow towards the back of the room. On your exhale, release and bring everything back to center. Inhale, reach those arms up again. Exhale, we'll do the other side. The left arm comes down and sweeps all the way across, grabs a hold of that right thigh. The right arm rainbows over. Think about that right sitting bone grounded into the chair so that we're really scrunching up the muscles on the left side and extending the ribs out on the right side. Again, yogi's choice. You can use leverage and open up that heart space, pulling that right elbow towards the back of the room. And exhale, release. From here, inhale, reach those arms up. This time we'll bring it into a twist. Exhale over to the right, taking that left hand on the outside of that right knee. The right hand reaches towards the back of the room. From here, turn your gaze towards those right fingertips, and then take those fingertips up towards the ceiling and all the way across the body, and take them to the outside of that left thigh. From here, release the hands and give yourself a hug. If you'd like to roll the shoulders while you're here, maybe do some wiggling. And yogi's choice on this, you can stay in this, giving yourself a hug, or you can take the backs of your arms together, bringing it into a partial or even a full wrap. If you do that, lift the elbows up, bringing the gaze up towards the thumbs, pulling the shoulder blades away from the spine, keeping that core firm. And then on an exhale, gently unwind. And this time, pull the arms all the way out to our goalpost arms and those elbows towards the back of the room, opening that heart space. Still keeping our ribs pulled towards the hips as we lift the heart space towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. Inhale, reach the arms up. Twisting to the other side this time. Exhale. Take that right hand over to the outside of that left thigh. The left fingertips reach towards the back of the room. Take the gaze towards those left fingertips, and then bring those left fingertips towards the ceiling and all the way across to the outside of that right knee. From here, we'll bring it back into a hug with our arms wrapped the other way now. You can stay here in the hug, or if you'd like, bring the backs of the arms together or a full wrap. On your exhale, gently unwind. Bring those elbows wide open again, pulling that heart space up, and then exhale, let it go. Okay, from here, let's stay sitting upright. We're going to take our right arm out to the side, palm up with the thumb facing towards the back of the room. From here, take that thumb as far back as you can get it, and then we'll pause, turn our torso, and then take the thumb back a little bit further. And we'll bring it back to our neutral position with our arm out to the side, and then take that thumb back, turn the torso, and take that thumb back again. Bring it back so our fingertips are pointing to that right wall. We'll do this 2 more times. Take that thumb towards the back. Now turn the torso and then take the thumb further back. Bring it back to our neutral position. Last one here. Our arm is probably getting tired. Thumb towards the back. Now we turn our torso and then thumb toward the back again. And release and bring it forward, and just whatever feels good. If you need to move the arm around a little bit, go ahead and do so. We'll do the other side now. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll take that left hand out to the side. Our fingertips are pointing to that left wall. The palm is up, the thumb is pointing to the back of the room. Take that thumb towards the back and then turn your torso, and now take the thumb back further and bring it back into our neutral. So our fingertips to that side wall. Now the thumb towards the back, turn the torso, then the thumb further back, bring it back to neutral. Thumb to the back, turn, thumb back, bring it back to neutral. Thumb back, turn the torso, thumb back, back to our starting point. Thumb back, turn the torso, thumb back, and back to our starting point. I think we have one more. Take the thumb back. I'm not counting, so sorry. Turn the torso, take the thumb back, and bring it back to our starting point and let it go. Wiggle those arms out, right? So much of the time we hold tension in our shoulders, and so much of it is because we're working here. Even when we sleep, we're in this forward posture. And so we're really working towards opening our shoulders up, bringing that open, and hopefully that will relieve some of the tension that we have in the back of our necks and in our shoulders. All right, from here, let's take that soft block and let's put it between our knees. So as you find those sitting bones again, make sure you're nice and grounded and the heels are underneath the knees. Plant the feet, squeezing that block between the knees. Nobody can tell how much effort you're putting in, but let's really work those adductors, pulling those knees together. Remembering to breathe as we keep our core engaged, so we're sitting up nice and tall. One more cycle of breath here. A deep inhale and exhale. And then release. Go ahead and wiggle those knees around. Okay, let's put that block back in between the knees. This time, let's squeeze that block nice and tight. We're going to lift that right foot just a little bit. We're going to press that right heel towards the front of the room and bring it back down. And right heel presses forward and back down. Right heel forward, back down. And last time, right heel forward and back down. Okay, wiggle around. Now we'll do that left heel. Lift up that left foot just a little bit, squeeze that block, and press that left heel towards the mirrors and bring it back. And left heel towards the mirrors and back. Take it out for another 3, back down, 2, back down, and last one, back down. If you'd like, remove the block, wiggle around. Got one last round here, so let's put it between the knees. Sitting up nice and tall, squeeze that block. Gonna take pressure off of that right foot, and now we're gonna stir the pot in one direction, and then stir it in the other direction. All right, and then from here, let that foot fall straight down, but keep it hovering, and take that right foot out to the side and bring it back in. And out to the side and back in. Another 3, back in, 2, back in, and 1, back in. Release, wiggle. We've got one last set on the other side. So squeeze the block, lift that left heel, stir the pot with that left foot. Okay, and we'll reverse direction. If you need to take a break for a second, go ahead and lower it down and wiggle. Otherwise, let's let that left heel hang straight down from the knee and then take it out to the side and bring it back in. And out and in. Another 3, back in. 2, back in. And 1, back in. All right, remove the block, place it off to the side. And let's grab a drink. And then we'll do a few chair squats. And then we'll come into a standing portion of the class. Okay. So the level at which you do this is all up to you. So I'll talk you through it and you can decide how far up and how far down you want to go, or if you even just want to stay in your seat and just engage the muscles, that works too. So we're going to take our heels a little bit behind the knees so that we have some room. We're going to lean forward. Now engage that core. We're going to press through the heels and we're going to slowly lift up off of the chair, pressing those knees out. Yeah, and then slowly press yourself up and then slowly bring it back down. And you can bring it all the way down in the chair, or you can just skim the chair and then press yourself back up. Keep outward pressure going on the knees and then come back down. You can choose if you sit down or whether you just skim it and bring it back up. Back down. You can stay in the chair, just keep those muscles engaged. We'll do 2 more if you're up for it. Coming back up, pressing nice and slow. Sinking that tush back down, keeping that core engaged, the heart space open, and one last one, pressing through those heels, coming back up. And then slowly we'll come back down until we finally reach the chair and then release. All right, so we're ready for the standing portion of the class. If you are not comfortable standing because of balance issues or whatever, there's ways that we can adapt. So we can sit on the chair the whole time. This is a chair class, so don't feel obligated. But if you are comfortable doing so, let's move the chair to the front of the mat. Okay. Now, if you have a hand weight, nobody has to use a hand weight if they don't want to. We can just work on the motion if you choose not to use the weight. We're stepping back a little way from the chair. Our feet are going to be planted about hip distance apart, and we're going to lean forward so that our torsos are maybe at a 45-degree angle. We'll take that hand weight in our right hand, or just allow that right hand to fall down towards the floor. We squeeze that shoulder blade in against the arm, okay? And then from here, we're going to lead with the elbow. The palm is going to stay facing down, and we're going to take that arm out and bring it back down. And take it out and back down. Stop whenever you need to, but otherwise we'll go for another 8, back down, 7, back down, 6, 5, keeping that core engaged, 4, back down, 3, back down, 2, and 1. can do this with a can of soup at home, or you can just keep doing it without any weight. But we want to focus on keeping that core engaged, keeping that shoulder blade tucked in against our back. So again, we'll start with the left hand now, so that weight is in the left hand, or we're just ready to pull it out to the side. Our right hand is on that chair, helping us stay balanced. And then we lift that elbow up, taking the hand with it and bringing it back down. And taking it up and out and back down. For another 8, down, 7, 6, back down, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here, raising it up and bringing it back down. All right, we can drop the hand weights for now. We may revisit for one more. We'll just have to see how it goes. All right, so standing behind this chair, we're going to step the right foot forward and the left foot back. Think about railroad tracks, your feet on railroad tracks here. So we're not on a balance beam, we've got a little bit of distance. Keep that back heel raised up. This right knee bends and stacks over that right heel. From here, we act as though our legs are a pair of scissors. We pull them together from front and back, as well as from side to side. Keep that core engaged, and then if you'd like, you can bring the hands up over the head with the pinkies pointing forward. And breathe. We can't forget to breathe, right? All right, bring the hands back down towards the chair. Now we're going to press that left heel towards the floor for a calf stretch. All right, everybody's had this before, and when they wake up in the middle of the night with a calf cramp, and yeah. So, might want to roll a little bit from side to side on the foot. See what feels good for you. And then bending that back knee, lifting that back heel, we're going to press and lift and bring the feet together behind that chair. Wiggle it out. So now plant that left foot, the right foot is going to step back. Same thing, other side. So think of the railroad tracks, all 10 toes pointing forward. That back heel is lifted. Engage the legs by pulling them together from every direction. So you're pulling right towards the center line. Same with our core, we're going to engage that and pull that towards the center of our core. And if you're nice and stable and you'd like, go ahead, lift those arms. Be proud, use a jaunty chin. Release the hands back down towards the chair, press that heel towards the mat, calf stretch the other side. Bend that back knee, lift the heel, and then press yourself up till our feet are standing. Wiggle those hips back and forth. And then we're going to step back from the chair just a little bit. We'll be using the chair for balance on this one. We're going to do our heel and toe raises. So let's come up onto our toes and hold it. Think about the distribution of weight. About 50% of the weight should be in the big toes, and the other 50% should be divided between the other 4 toes on each foot. And then slowly roll back down to a flat foot. Now that the heels engage on the mat, grab that chair, stick the tush back a little bit, and lift those toes up to the shin. From here, we're going to tuck the tail, roll forward onto a flat foot. and all the way forward onto the ball of the feet and the toes. If you want to experiment, feel free to take the hands away. And then slowly lower back down, bringing it to a flat foot first, getting well established, and then go ahead, hinge at the hips, pushing that tush back, lifting the toes up, coming onto the heels. If you'd like a little hamstring stretch, go ahead and press through those heels, straightening the legs out a little bit. Don't hyperextend them. Right, and then rock back to a flat foot, and we'll stand upright. Okay, let's do a little warrior two sequence. So we're going to step our right foot forward and in the center of the mat. We're going to step the left foot back, and this time think balance beam rather than railroad tracks. So our right foot is on the center of that balance beam, the left foot is on the balance beam but towards the back. That back heel, that left heel, is the furthest thing back. Look down and make sure that that front right knee is stacked over that right ankle and that it's aligned with that second toe. Now work towards pulling everything towards that center line. So we're not actually moving the body, we're tightening the muscles up. Our hips and our heart space are facing the side of the mat. Our right fingertips come towards the front of the room, our left fingertips towards the back of the room, and here is our warrior two position. All right, from here, if you'd like, let's see if we can't bring it out to our cactus arms. Okay. And then let's press through that front foot, straightening that front leg and bringing the hands up towards the ceiling and bringing it back down into that warrior two with our cactus arms. And then inhale, straightening that front leg, bringing it up, and exhale, bring it back down. From here, we're going to turn and face the chair, lifting that back heel and then stepping those feet together in the front. Wiggle it out. Do the same thing the other side. So that left foot steps forward. Think of our balance beam, that right foot steps back. The right heel is the furthest thing back. Left knee is stacked over that heel. Pull everything towards that center line. Okay? We roll the shoulder heads back and down. Left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. You can always hold on to the chair. Standing on a balance beam is no joke, right? So it's fine to hold on to the chair. Okay. From here, if you'd like, bring it out into your cactus arms. So I'm going to keep my left hand on the chair here where my right arm comes out into the cactus arm. From here, I'm going to press through the ball of that left foot, straightening that left leg and bringing the arm up overhead. And then bringing it back down into our warrior two with a cactus arm and taking it back up. And one last time, bringing it down and up. And then bringing it down. We're going to turn to face the chair, lifting that back heel and then stepping those feet together. Wiggle it out. All right, we have one more thing we've got time for with the hand weights. So feel free not to use a weight. This one is going to be a little more challenging because of the direction that we're going to hold our arm. So we're going to come back into that same position with our feet about hip distance apart. Our hand is supporting us, so the left hand is on the chair. Our torso is bent over 45-degree angle. We engage the core. And this time our palm is going to be facing forward with the thumb facing out. And we're going to lift that thumb up towards the ceiling and bring it back down. And bring it up and back down. The whole time try and keep the shoulder engaged and back down. We'll do another 5, back down, 4, back down. 3, back down. 2, back down. And 1, and bring it back down. Stand up, wiggle around. Okay, we'll switch hands. So the dumbbell's in the left hand. We're gonna lean over that chair again. So the right hand is grabbing a hold of that chair. Leaned over, engage the core, and then we lift that left thumb up towards the ceiling and bring it back down. The whole time our heart space is still facing the floor, bringing it up and down. And down. 5, down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it back down. All right, we can lose the weights. We're done with them. Okay, let's move the chairs back again, and we'll come back to the seated portion of our class. Despite the fact that it's winter time, don't forget to stay hydrated. Even though it's not hot and we might not be sweating as much as summertime, the air is really dry. And every time we breathe in and out, we're losing moisture. So please remember to stay hydrated. From here, let's sit near the edge of our chair. We're going to stretch those legs out nice and long. We're going to put the heels on the mat and pull the toes back towards the shin while we sit up nice and tall. Make sure you don't slip off the edge of your chair. Okay. From here, we'll make sure that our heart space is nice and open. We'll hinge at the hips and pull that heart space towards the front of the room. Yeah, bringing it into a hamstring stretch. You may want to make sure that you engage the muscles at the front of your legs too, so that your knees have a micro bend in them, so that we're not hyperextending them. We want to keep the joints safe so we don't overextend them. We just kind of lock them out short of that. So if anybody doubted where their hamstrings were, this is where our hamstrings are. It's important as we hold this that we return to our breath with deep inhales and exhales, trying to relax the muscles. As we talk about a lot of times, exhaling that space into the muscle area, and it will help it relax. Then using your hands on your thighs or on your chair, gently press yourself back up into a seated position. Okay. From here, we're going to plant that left heel underneath that left knee. We're going to cross that right ankle up over that right knee or left knee. The right hand comes to that right knee, has gentle pressure exerting on it down. Those right toes pull towards the right shin. Okay, and once again, we inhale, we pull that crown of the head towards the ceiling, good posture. As we exhale, we hinge at the hips and pull that heart space forward. This again is an excellent opportunity. We come back into our breath. So we think about that breath that we initiated at the beginning of class, bringing it into the belly, filling up all the way around. Nice, slow exhales if possible. Slowing it down. Our exhales help, when we slow it down, it helps bring our body into a state of calm. It slows the heart rate down, and it tells us that it's safe. Using your hands on that chin, inhale and gently press yourself up. And then And we're gonna turn that heart space towards that right knee, the bent knee. And we're gonna lean forward on that. Now it doesn't work well in the chairs. Never mind. Inhale and press yourself back up. Now we're gonna turn the torso and take that right hand to the arch of that right foot. You can use it to help you turn. As we inhale, we think about pulling that crown of the head towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, there might be a little bit more room to twist. Everything should be stretched, not strained. It should feel good. And on an exhale, gently release and face the front, uncross the legs. And feel free to wiggle them around. The right heel plants underneath that right knee. The left ankle crosses up over that right knee. Left hand on that left knee. Left toes pull towards the shin. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And exhale, hinging at the hips, that heart space pulls forward. Each side is going to be different. So don't expect, like if you went down really far on the last one and then you're like stuck only halfway on this one, we're not symmetrical, and that's okay. Just take note of where you're at, accept it, and then breathe through this, working towards releasing those muscles that are being stretched. Using your hands on that shin, press yourself back up to a seated position. And we'll take that left hand, put it on that left arch. Inhale, the crown of the head pulls towards the ceiling, and then you can use the leverage of that hand to bring it into a twist. Exhale, release that twist, bringing it back to the front. We'll unwind those legs. All right, from here, let's come into a full body stretch. We're going to inhale and reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then slowly slouch down until your back hits the back of the chair, and then extend those hands towards the back of the room. And if you feel comfortable, walk those legs out nice and long, bringing it into a full body stretch here. And then bring those palms together. Exhale, bring it down to heart center. And then we're going to sit ourselves upright in the chair, placing those heels underneath those knees. Inhale, lift those arms up again. This time we're going to forward fold. Just pull those fingertips towards the front of the room, slowly tracing them down the mirrors and all the way down towards the floor. If you have blood pressure, glaucoma issues, whatever, you can stop here with a flat back. Otherwise, if you feel good, go ahead, allow that chin to drop towards the chest, bringing the crown of the head towards the floor, allowing the arms to relax and pull down towards the mat. You can decide whether you want to just allow the chest to rest on the legs, or if you want to walk the legs out a little bit wider so that your chest can fall in between those knees. And then if you'd like, you can shake your head no, or shake it yes. And then slowly walk your hands up your legs Coming back into a comfortable seated position. So you can choose whether you'd like to sit upright or whether you'd like to lean back in the chair enough that you're using the back support. We want to roll those shoulders back a little bit. We'll stack those heels underneath the knees, close the eyes down, and we'll come into a few moments of Shavasana at the end of class here. So if you'd like, you can have the hands on the lap. You can also experiment with bringing the thumb to the index finger or to your middle finger. Closing the eyes down and coming back into our breath. And then running a scan from the top of our head down into the forehead and the temples, the eyebrows, the cheeks. If you're holding tension in the jaw, allow the teeth to unclench, the tongue to drop from the roof of the mouth. As you go through from top to bottom, if you're holding tension anywhere, just pause for a moment and allow that exhale to go into that area as you work towards releasing it and allowing it to melt down and out of the body into the mat. Coming down into the neck and the shoulders. The biceps and triceps, your forearms and your fingertips. Coming back into the torso. The upper part of your torso. Coming down into the waist, the front and back. The lower abdomen and your low back. Releasing whatever tension you may feel in the glutes, in the hips and thighs. Melting all the way down into the lower legs, into the ankles and the feet. And imagine whatever stress you may have had, just leaking out the bottom of your feet. Taking the last final few breaths of class, inhaling the energy that you need in order to continue throughout your day, and exhaling whatever residual tension or negative thoughts might be still hanging about. Bringing those hands to heart center and allowing the chin to drop towards the chest. It was my honor to guide you through this class. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Drink.